trying to assist services to link into community, understand communities, because most of the time people go to communities, they see that they need to attend and see the service providers. But the power could lie in families, in traditional owners, could rely on leaders in the community who aren't even working. But we need to learn to understand how a community operates. In regards to other services, provide information to identify how gambling can be related to their service. There's a lot of services that work with Aboriginal people aren't linking gambling into their service. I don't know how that is in your area, but if you work in legal services, housing, family, children, you know, gambling could be linked to your service, but you're not asking the questions. I've been to a community where a young gentleman committed suicide. They never once talked about gambling, and the family told me that, yeah, gambling played a role in that young man's decision to kill himself. So I think we need to talk about how gambling can be pretty much linked to a number of service providers. We need to get out and link with community, link with service providers. So we need to find local people, Aboriginal leaders and other service providers to help. We need an effective education and awareness program, because that'll provide a lot of benefits, not just raising the issue, but also building a relationship with the community. A holistic program, cannot just focus on gambling. We all know gambling can be linked to domestic violence and alcohol abuse, drug use. We know it can be linked to, research has even shown that poor absenteeism from school, gambling's interfering with children that are going to school. So we need to be talking about a holistic program. And again, that quality and culturally appropriate marketing material. And when we get to our attitudes and values, when we're working with Aboriginal people, we need to look at the values, that respect, the trust and the honesty, the authentic approach. What we've noticed is that people are there to do a job, but they're not authentic in understanding and caring for an Aboriginal. You know, and what an Aboriginal person is doing is actually checking you out and realising whether you are someone they can trust and share things with. So you need to be authentic in what your job is. Be prepared to build relationships, willingness to change, adapt and be flexible, and even inviting premises. We don't like going to places on the main street or you know, not in a great location, particularly around transport. But listen and learn to us. You need to share. So you're listening, you're talking, but you're not there just for them. You need to let them talk back to you, and it's all about sharing. So understanding one's culture, going to the community and being visible. And the terms of counsellor and psychologist and psychiatrist often can scare many Aboriginal people away. You know, just because we don't understand what it means. I remember going to a community and the gambling counsellor there was doing a lot of work, but he could not get to the community, could not get people to come to him. And he had this huge big beard and he used to wear this big hat. And I just say, you just call yourself the bearded gambling man. Don't worry about counsellor, don't worry about psychologists. And it's just a visual that Aboriginal people can identify with, and it assists him, because we just said, go and see that bearded gambling man down the road there. He can assist you. I know that the biggest issue we have is counselling services, and probably any service dealing with this disadvantaged group, is understanding how important first contact is. For me, first contact is Aboriginal people coming in to see if there's an individual here that can understand me. This individual here, I want to see their character, I want to know what they're like as a person. And then I'll ask about what you do down the track. So for me, an Aboriginal person is checking you out as an individual and wants to see your character, that you can understand me, before they'll start sharing those, you know, those problems that might exist. So first contact is very important, because we've noticed that many come in, but they don't come back. So I just want to talk and finish off on the program that I'm managing in New South Wales. So what I do predominantly is I do gambling research with Southern Cross University. I also attend a lot of communities throughout predominantly Queensland and other states about Aboriginal gambling, and doing workshops and teaching people. But the main focus of my area now is to run this safe gambling program in New South Wales, and it requires me to deliver workshops throughout New South Wales. I attend and organise events to raise awareness, and I'll show you some pictures of these. But if there's an event on, whether it's cultural days or sporting days or school functions, I'll try and get there, and I set up a stall and hand out goodies that are here on the table. Could be water bottles, bags, what are there, pens, wristbands, hats and so forth. So I'm trying to get out there amongst the community. Discussions and meetings to various people from the community. I also like to identify safe gambling ambassadors. Because New South Wales is so big, I need a contact at every community. And if I can call them safe gambling ambassadors, because I'm not trying to say gambling's wrong and that we should be abstaining totally from gambling, because I think a lot of Aboriginal people have been told long enough they can't do this, they can't do that, so I'm promoting safe and responsible gambling, and I want to see safe gambling ambassadors out there. I don't mind if they're out of poker machines and they're playing, and someone says, hey, aren't you a safe gambling ambassador? You can't be playing the poker machine. But the dialogue is, they say back, yeah, but I'm a safe gambler, you know, I'm doing this responsibly, or I'm going to walk away from the machine. So I think we need to get that into our dialogue and see more safe gambling ambassadors out there. Whether they're gambling or not, they should be showing what is responsible gambling. I also provide a free 1800 phone service. So it's an 1800, it's a free line, so you can contact myself and talk about gambling. It's usually an education and awareness line, but some people have been ringing with problems, and what I have to do as an ex-gambling counsellor is try and assist them through those tough periods, but also try and link them back into their local gambling service. So I'm trying to, they ring me, I can talk, where you're from, I'm from Wagga Wagga, and I can talk to them until they're prepared to go to someone in Wagga Wagga. Again, about referrals. I'm working on developing MOUs, Memorandum of Understanding for Gambling Counselling Services, so I can assist them with that, like I said before, that cultural supervision and supporting them. Facilitate the development of local community action plans. Now that means when I go to communities, I like to develop an action plan where it's identifying barriers, but it's also identifying strategies to go forward. And so there's a sample of looking at 3 target groups, which is your primary, secondary and tertiary, where primary is community, secondary is the gamblers, and tertiary is more like the problem gamblers. We're talking about the barriers that those 3 groups are having. And then from that we come up with some strategies. And those strategies, this is a sample from in one community. But what happens is this community now can work on these strategies to prioritise and tell me what's important, and now we're able to fund some of these strategies at a local level. So not only are you going into communities, but you're able to fund ideas that they have suggested. It's not coming from me, it's coming from them, and that's an important part of the project.